Good afternoon. That light glowing above me is not my halo. It's the ceiling light. But anyways, once again, I was surfing through my files. I do a lot of writing. Well, I have in the past. And I found something that I found interesting that I thought I would put out there. Right? Because it seems like a lot of people are missing the point. And there's a lot of really high-powered philosophers and professors and students of life out there on YouTube that use words this long to try to explain things. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's hard for just regular people to try to figure out what the hell they're talking about. And then you read some books or something and you find words even longer and it's like, what the hey? You know what I'm saying? Well, I wrote this piece a couple, 3 years ago, and I coupled it with another piece. I'm going to make another video on that one after this one. So, but anyways, I thought I'd just read it to you, just see if you got it. You know what I'm saying? This is based on an old ancient philosopher and mystic. The gentleman's name was Parmenides. You could probably find him on the internet. He wrote this poem that they found. It's fragmented, but a lot of it was still there, and a lot of it was interpreted because Greek is a universal language back then. It was entitled Stillness. Well, this is my understanding of what Parmenides was saying. Stillness. Today when I was riding down the canal, I saw fishes just chilling in the current. Must have been at least 100 or more in that mile that I traveled before the canal crossed the road and the water went through some changes and the fish couldn't keep up with the flow. These are the things that I find are holding my interest over all the drama of being human these days. Let me explain. To be aware is that ability to join your higher self with your lower self. Quote, and to stand inside still, looking out and onto the world of the mundanes. End quote. Parmenides. This stillness is what all the ancients and masters of the old mysteries were teaching. Everything else is nonsense that we as human beings create to make our world real. When I say still, I mean being aware of the self. Kind of like knowing that it is you looking out through eyes. Not thinking about looking, but seeing as though that is what you meant to do. You see, the brain is just another organ in the body that has a function. To think. This kind of sounds stupid, huh? Well, your heart pumps blood so that oxygen gets moved around the body to let muscles and tendons and nerves all work together to make us move and breathe and feel, right? Feel pain and so on. So therefore, the brain thinks. That is not who we really are. No, we are that divine spark, that 1 billionth of a bolt of electricity that all energy being shared. Right? The trees, the plants, the birds, the lizards, the fishes, human beings. Every living thing in the known universe that is alive and sentient is made of this energy. That is who we really are, not those random thoughts and ideas rolling around inside our brain. Most people think with their brain. This is what I call the drama of being a human. Because every time we think we are in control of a given situation or event that we or someone else created, we either make it better or most likely worse, because one of the laws of life is we really don't have control. Control is tenuous. We are subject to how the flow of life controls everything around us, through us, and everything that we are connected to. Being aware is that part of you that knows and feels and grasps the concept of energy flowing inward and outward, like breathing. Hearing is a purely mechanical process of the bones inside your ear canal. The brain interprets these sound vibrations and we hear what others say, or the birds chirping in the trees. What really is going on inside is We are tuned into a frequency of this vibration at a molecular level, and we ourselves know that the birds are chirping, that Sally is asking us over to dinner. At a certain level of thought, everything that we do is work through our thinking process. I know that this is where most mundanes get caught up in being human, because they don't really know there is a higher self, much less how to connect to it. They just wander about thinking and reacting to what they themselves or other people think is really happening. Remember, we create our reality and respond to it in kind. To me, stillness and awareness are the same thing. All the gurus and the masters, the teachers of all the different sects have those big giant words to try to describe it to you. And you don't get it, do you? What I'm doing is trying to explain it to you. I don't have all that intellectual jargon to draw from. What I do have is a wealth of life experience that I have gained over the past 57 years of this life. I live what it is I preach. To be aware of yourself all the time is the key to this life. To feel, to touch, to love, to hate. All of those things that we as humans do every waking moment of our pitiful little lives. That is the goal. When it is over, we are once again part of the all. We don't get to feel or taste that Benz that you slaved over, right, trying to get. You don't even know, you don't even need it. Right? But the energy being that you are is still aware of self, reveling in the freedom of everlasting, united with God at the highest level of existence. All of this starts at the base level of stillness. For years I knew that I was something more than just a face or a number in the vast system of life as we know it. No matter how hard I studied or how much I learned, I never really got it until one fateful day. Right? A friend of mine, my mentor, right, crossed the room and instantly turned my whole world upside down. When I look back on it, I see that he really didn't teach me anything new. He taught me how to use what I had. He explained the phenomenon of awareness in such a way that I knew then that this is what I truly was. From there onward, all of the stuff that came to me came fast and came simple. Never before have I gotten a concept so totally whole. Now everything I do from the whole of my being. These words flow from all of me, as I flow from the all itself. The actual act of stillness is very easy to accomplish. All you really have to do is stop thinking. Stop the background noise of your brain thinking about, do I need a new phone? Or what should I wear to the store? Oh man, I want those $300 shoes. And at the same time, reach out with your feelings to connect with everything around you. You know, kind of like what Obi-Wan was doing to teaching Luke in the Falcon. Remember when he put the blast shield on, he was playing around with the lightsaber? Yes, you can think of stillness like the Force. In many ways, it's the same concept. Feeling the energy all around you is the same as seeing the wind. If you can do it for just 10, 15 seconds at a time, then you're on the right path. It takes a few weeks to master the flow of it, but sooner or later you will be able to stay connected all of the time, even when you're asleep. It is the sensation of being outside your own body. You can feel the air around you, the coolness of the tabletop where your laptop is, the light waves from the fluorescent light above you. Right? It is real. These are the things that all of the mystics and the yoga gurus are talking about. Your body is an amazing machine. Unfortunately, the Weather Channel app has stopped. Your body is an amazing machine. It has all the stuff to do what I'm telling you. 65% of all the touch receptors in your body are right here in your hands. The other 35% scattered throughout your body, right in the rest of your skin. These touch receptors are the things that send electric pulses back to the brain saying that this is hot, this is cold, this is slimy, ooh, this is wet. If you can still your mind enough, you can actually feel the hairs individually on your body. You remember in more vivid detail. You see colors that you never saw before. Hear things from far away, like somebody's outside my door right now. The way you use your brain to think becomes way more involved than just a thought. Now time doesn't matter. It becomes a tool. Awareness of the self is time itself. Right? How we relate to the universe is now the goal, because remember, we are part of it as much as it's a part of us. Where before, we never even thought of the stars and planets except as pictures or stickers to hang on the wall. Now we have a direct knowledge of each of them in their own place. Interestingly enough, everything becomes real and powerful at that point. I started with the fish, remember? Well, last night it rained very hard and the canal was full of mud this morning. Did I see the fish? No. But I felt them in there because I know they're in there. See how this works? This newfound ability to use the brain is what it's all about. You have made yourself smarter by half just because now all is flowing not only through you, but with you. Your brain is now part of the whole instead of being in the way, thinking. Is this really what God intended for us in the first place? Is that our gift? And if you learn to read between the lines of life, all that crazy stuff that before ruled your life is now gone. It doesn't matter anymore. The only thing that really matters is the all of life, Mr. Lucas's force. It will take you places that you never dreamed of, do things that you thought could not be possible, have a greater sense of accomplishment, feel at a deeper level, love deeply. Hambe.
Yes.
Now you feel with all of your heart. You hear, you see with all of yourself. The metaphorical heart is that part of us that sees and feels everything that is real in our world. The mundane spend a lot of time not thinking with it. Therefore, most of the time they are acting without any direction or meaning to what it is that they are doing. No self-respect. People that think on a higher level, on the other hand, deal with only things that are real and compelling to us as a whole. In this way, everything that is worth doing or having is exciting and has a great big influence in what it is that we think about or do at the highest levels of life. Interesting, huh? Made you stop and think about it just a little tiny bit, didn't I? Life is very precious. It's very important. This is our gift. The goal of this life is to be here and now, constantly. Because you can't change the past. You don't know what's going to happen in the future. All you have is now. And it's the most important part of your life. Because Mr. Marx, remember Mr. Karl Marx? He made this quote, "A man is nothing more than what he does." You can't do anything about the past. You don't know what you're going to do in the future, so what you do is right now. Thank you.